Hello to my lovely listeners. This is Christine with Ascension Arcana Tarot. This is a reading for the 1010 portal. This is a general collective reading, so as always, please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. I have been really sick for the past few days, so it feels so nice. Today I actually ate food for the first time since Saturday. I'm so happy to be here and be feeling better. And it just feels nice to kind of be in the flow. So if you're experiencing this energy right now, anything like I am, it's it feels like waves on an ocean or like a roller coaster a little bit, but maybe not so dramatic as that. But there's definitely something about this energy that just feels like a lot of movement to me. I don't usually look at the bottom like that, but I felt called to look at that with the Empress. She's actually a really stable card, so I find that encouraging. Let's see what the energy of the 1010 portal holds for us. The King of Pentacles. Feeling called to pull the bottom row before I start interpreting these. Give me a second here. This is a very pentacle-y so far. What sign are we in? We're in Libra. That's interesting. I was wondering if it's an earth sign, but we've already finished Virgo. You have one more for me? Yeah. A couple. This is a big one. Okay. I feel like there's a lot in this message about family. So this is what I was kind of feeling before I even pulled it, and the rest of them kind of confirmed it. The King of Pentacles here to me is feeling like the king of his domain, right? He is the earthly king. He's the king who is physically manifesting all of his good here on the earth. He's like a master manifester. And you can see, he's got his pentacles, he's got his castle, he's living in the lap of luxury basically over here. Even the way he's looking at the cards, his gaze is sort of lowered down to his pentacle, but it also looks like he's gazing here at the 10 of Pentacles, which feels like his kingdom to me. So the 10 of Pentacles, as I've explained in other readings, it's kind of like the peak, like the culmination of all of the lessons of the minor arcana of the tarot, right? So once you've mastered the wands, the swords, the cups, then you get to master that sort of grounded pentacle creation of all of your good here on the earth. So this is like your family legacy, right? You have generational wealth, you have stability, there's a child, there's the dogs. This is basically the tarot equivalent of the 2.5 kids in the house with the white picket fence, right? So I feel like the King of Pentacles is very proud of this family that he has created. And it's making me feel like a family dynamic where I don't know how to explain this. I've experienced this dynamic before. I have to think of the words. This family dynamic where what the words that are coming to me is you had best behave. The eyes of the family are kind of on you to be a good model for the family, to put a good face forward and a good foot forward for the family, right? So behaving in a way that sort of benefits your family or does honor to the work that this patriarch figure has put into it. It doesn't have to be a male in real life, right? It's just the gender of the card. It feels like a sort of patriarchal energy in terms of some control there. This figure, the family figure, wanting to have some control over how the family is perceived, and maybe even some consequences if your behavior is not up to par. So I'm thinking this could be even an adult you as my listener, right? You could be like a grown adult and like have your own life and your own career or whatever, but there's something about this person that they still have like a power over you in a way. So it could be that maybe there's like an inheritance or like a trust or something where this person still has some sort of financial say over your life, or at least you feel that way, even if that's not actually true. And I'm saying financial because the pentacles are really sticking out to me. The Page of Wands, I feel like, is an interesting energy here because he feels very different than these two to me. This is a dynamic that these two are like way together, this energy, the King of Pentacles and the Ten of Pentacles. The Page of Wands is like an explorer. He feels very free to me. There's like a very open energy to this card. He just is sort of open to like the future, and whatever comes is fine. He's kind of blazing his trail and maybe following his heart or following his intuition. So it almost feels like an opposite energy of this. It may be the case that you are experiencing some of this Page of Wands energy, and it's sort of causing like a grind between you and your family, where maybe you're like a more free spirit, or you want to go like travel Europe for a year or something, right? And maybe your family would look down on that or think that it's going to like interrupt your career or relationship or whatever. I just got a flash too when I said relationship. It could be that you're like dating someone that your family does not approve of, right? And you sort of being this open, free spirit who has the open heart to do that, right? You just want to explore and kind of see what's there, and you're open to that experience. And I just feel like a sternness and like almost like a judging disapproval coming from that King of Pentacles. I think there's a message here that you are free, even if it doesn't seem that way, because maybe this guy is kind of trying to control the pentacles. I feel like these three go together and these two go together. So this very much to me feels like that energy of being kind of alone in the cold. And with this family message that I'm getting here, it feels like kind of being like ostracized from the family. So that would feel to me like the energy of this Page of Wands saying like, you know what? I get it that you don't approve of whatever the choice is, right? The person I'm dating or the job that I'm taking, or, you know, I quit my career as a lawyer to become an artist, right? And pursue my passion, doing that trip to Europe for a year. I get that you don't approve of that choice, but that's the choice that I'm making. That's where my intuition and my heart are taking me. So that's what I'm going to do. And I feel like this King of Pentacles says, okay, bye. And it's kind of this feeling of being like out in the cold. But I feel like there's maybe like a fear that this is what's going to happen. But in reality, I feel like the person who I'm reading for is actually pretty stable. Like I keep hearing in my head, you're a grown-ass adult, you're a grown-ass adult. Like whoever this is who sort of has this illusion of like pulling the purse strings over you or whatever, it's like even if they completely cut you off, you still would be fine. Like you may already have your own house and a great job and, you know, all this stuff, right? So there's nothing that would actually physically happen to you. And even in the sense of like the family relationships, I do feel a feeling of like manipulation and toxicity. And as always, please only take this if it resonates, right? I'm just a person on YouTube reading cards. I can't promise if this is your situation or not, right? But this is the energy that I'm getting here, is that there is a feeling of like control, toxicity, where it's like if you don't show up the right way that this person wants you to show up, you kind of get like shunned, right? And at some point it's like, well, who am I living my life for? Is it to people please this guy, right? Or is it to like follow the dreams in my heart and follow my intuition to like where my heart's leading me? For me, I like following my heart and my intuition rather than people pleasing. So take this if it resonates. If not, no big deal. But that's what this feels like, is that there's a fear, right, of kind of getting kicked out of the family and left out in the cold, for lack of better words. I feel like the Death card here and then the Three of Pentacles is really significant, because the Death card to me is showing that something is coming. There's some sort of ending or resolution coming that sort of has been like a long time coming. So I talk about this a lot with the Death card, where it's a different type of ending than like the Tower, which is that card of like a sudden, unexpected ending that just sort of like blindsides you, right? With the Death card, he's just sort of plodding along and you kind of see him coming. And by the time that he arrives to you, it can be very sad, right? It's death. There's mourning involved, right? There's loss involved, but it's also something that like the writing was on the wall. At some point you kind of realize that this change or ending was inevitable. And what I find really promising is this Three of Pentacles, because to me that speaks of partnership. So I feel like there's something that could be ending for you around like a toxic family situation. But because of that ending, right, it leaves room in your life for what's kind of more aligned for you, right? Like nobody deserves to be manipulated, controlled, treated in like toxic ways. That's not appropriate. It's not healthy. And it doesn't feel good to be in a relationship with someone when those are like the dominant energies of the relationship, right? Dominant is a good word for that energy. Yeah, I feel him more as like a toxic or like misaligned King of Pentacles. And I think he might think that he has your best interests in mind, right? He feels like an opinionated guy who would say, well, of course it makes sense for you to marry so-and-so or keep this job as a lawyer or whatever. Like he's going to have reasons. So I feel like the energy from him is at least partially, that he genuinely believes that he has your best interests in mind. I think the struggle is that he doesn't recognize that you know your own self the best, right? And that you're kind of not like his pawn. I'm feeling this page as like a less than energy, and I'm feeling this page as you. Not that you are in truth less than this person, but I kind of feel like that's how the behavior is reflecting on you or how the treatment is coming towards you. So to get back down here, I feel like there's this fear or this like abandonment that's just, the writing's been on the wall. Like this is one of those readings that if this is about you, I'm not saying anything shocking to you. Like, you know this situation, you're going to be sitting there nodding like, yeah, that's me. That's my family. There's something about this toxic situation that's ending. So it could be, like you just tell this person, well, I'm doing it anyways. See you later. And there's like nothing they could do to stop you because as I keep hearing, you're a grown ass adult, right? Kind of taking a stand, setting boundaries. For some folks, it could be actually severing family relationships, whether that's like a temporary thing, in the hopes that this person will kind of come around and start to show you some respect for your autonomy. Or it could be permanent, just depending on, I think, whether or not this King of Pentacles is willing to change at all. I'm really feeling like there's a lack of respect, or that you are feeling a lack of respect just for like your own individuality, right? Your own life experience and your own path and passions. But I love this Three of Pentacles card because it shows me that even if there are boundaries being set or maybe some distance in a relationship, that there are new partnerships forming, because this is a card of partnership and working together. And the Pentacles too, feeling like maybe it is family members who you're like reconciling with, or it could just be, not just, but it could be spiritual family, right? So it doesn't have to be your blood family. It could be spiritual family that you're kind of making room for now that you're letting some of like this toxic relationship energy go. And I love this, the last two, the King of Swords and the Three of Wands, because this to me, I love this energy for you. The feeling of this king dominating with just this sort of putting down toxic energy. Like you might be like, I don't know how to say this. You might be like the free spirit of the family, right? And you kind of are constantly getting like knocked back into place a little bit by this guy with criticism or like suggestions, which is basically criticism veiled as a suggestion, right? There's like a lot of judgmental, critical energy coming from this. I feel like this is you saying, I'm not taking this crap anymore. I'm going on my adventure. That's all that these two cards say to me. This King of Swords is fierce and he's logical and he knows himself. He knows his own mind. He's very brave and he's not afraid to speak up or set boundaries, right? And that doesn't mean that the King of Swords is going to go tell off this King of Pentacles. It doesn't mean that at all. I actually feel like the opposite, that he would briefly speak his piece, say something along the lines of like, this is my life to live. This is not your decision to make. And that's it. And that's the boundary that he's setting, right? And the King of Pentacles can take it or leave it, but it's not going to change the King of Swords following his own logic, his mind, his heart, his intuition. I just heard the words sound, like he has like a sound mind. He has a sound soul. He just really has a firm sense of himself that I feel is really unshakable and probably developed because of some of this judgment and criticism. I feel him very much with this Page of Wands, this feeling of like this airy and clear and free. I don't know how else to describe it. It feels like freedom. It feels like just as being in this wide open place, right? And like the world is your oyster and the possibilities are infinite laying out before you. And you're like, well, I want to go that way. I want to go that way towards the infinite possibilities, right? And that's you. And I feel like it's showing, it's like that expression, fortune favors the brave. Like you're taking a brave leap here, kind of going against the grain of your family. And again, that doesn't have to be in like some destructive way. It can just be saying like, I love you, so-and-so relative. I love you. And I hear what you're saying. And I just really am going to go on this trip and I'll see you in a year, or I'll send you a postcard from Germany or whatever. Right. That feeling of the world being your oyster and having it sort of laying before your feet and like all of your riches and good are going to come into you. It feels like so juicy. My spiritual teachers talk about that sometimes. Like we use the word juicy in our work, and that's kind of the direction to go, right? It's the direction of what feels good to your soul, what makes your soul feel like alive and fulfilled and peaceful and like you're growing. I perceive Earth as like a school, like a soul school, basically. So being able to grow your soul, right? This energy of judgment, if you're kind of keeping trapped within you all of your dreams and hopes and wishes, you're like keeping your soul from growing. And the energy of this Page of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Three of Wands feels so expansive and so vast and open and free. And it feels like that's the juicy direction, right? Not people pleasing this guy, moving in the juicy direction where there's like infinite room for you to grow. That feels awesome. I'm trying to think of what cards. Who wants to help me with the other side? I actually feel like this deck wants to help me with the other side. Okay. I feel like that already was a lot of advice, so we'll see if they have anything else to say. All right, God, what advice do you have? I just looked at the bottom. It's the Knight of Swords. He's just, I looked at him and what he said to me is, I'm out of here. He just is like peacing out. I love it. No hesitation. He's just gone. I actually feel called to read that reversed. The Five of Swords is an energy of betrayal, and the Hangman reverse. So the Hangman usually is being kind of stuck, right? I sometimes joke that it's like being put in a timeout by the universe. So I'm feeling that energy reverse. Like it's time for you to move forward. Like you've gotten the enlightenment, you've gotten the clarity, and it's like, this guy, this Five of Swords, he's a bully. That's the feeling I'm getting from it. He's really bouncing off that King of Pentacles as sort of this judgmental, controlling, manipulative energy. And those are like really big words to throw around. So I don't mean that in like some huge dramatic sense. I just am feeling that those are like some behavior patterns or tendencies that this person has. So please kind of take those lightly. I don't mean that they have some sort of like psychological issues or something. I feel like the Hangman is you breaking free from that. So again, that King of Swords, setting boundaries, seeing clearly the situation, and it doesn't have to be some big dramatic confrontation. It can just be, hey, I appreciate your input. I'm making this choice. And like, that's it. It's like end of discussion, right? It's your life to live. Kind of coming out of like a stuck energy. I feel like it's similar to the Death card in a way, where it's like sad, right? There's maybe something to mourn here, like a loss going on, but at the end of the day, it's like it's finally resolved, right? It finally happened. It almost feels like the energy to me of like losing a relative to like a long-term illness, right? Where of course it's devastating to lose them, right? And to have them pass away. But there's also that piece of relief that like, at least that person is not suffering anymore, right? I feel like there's an end to the suffering here that feels really like final and complete, and in a way feels pretty good. It's interesting to have the Emperor because I was totally feeling him as like an imbalanced Emperor. I feel like what that's saying to me is you're like the Emperor of your own life, right? I'm just super drawn to his hand grasping this, like what a kind of controlling or like determined gesture that is. And then his other hand is holding like a little golden apple. I feel like that gesture alone is showing me like you taking control of your life, that you are the captain of your own destiny or whatever. Like I have all these sayings like that kind of coming up in my head, but it's true. Like you get to take the reins. You're in the driver's seat. Like it's your life. Instead of being viewed as this little page who someone can kind of put down and push around, just because you're a free spirit doesn't mean you deserve anybody's disdain. You know, someone might enjoy the security of the 9-to-5 job and the house and the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids and living sort of the life that you're, quote, supposed to live, right? Maybe that's not the life that you dream of. And I feel like that Emperor is you taking command and saying, this is the life that I want. And kind of finally, like, I'm like pounding my table. I never do that. You like finally going for it, right? And just owning it, like owning your dream. I love that. And even the 8 of Cups here coming out, right? It's you going on your adventure. It's the Emperor with his red cloak. I feel like it's this guy too with his red cloak, right? It's you in your red cloak moving forward to like whatever the next adventure is. And yeah, there's a touch of sadness in that card for sure. Because with the 8 of Cups, we're leaving behind something that we've emotionally invested in. And I feel like whatever this I'm really reading it as a family situation. It might resonate in another way for you, but I'm just going to keep referring to it as that because that's how I'm feeling it. But leaving this family situation would be hard. I think it would be pretty heartbreaking. Even if you're brave and kind of setting off on your own, you don't want to have discord with your family. You know, I feel like you love them and you've wanted for a very long time for them to be pleased with you. We have the 7 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups. That's a very sweet way to end this reading. The 7 of Pentacles is waiting. And the 6 of Cups is like a sweet reunion from the past. I love this. This is actually resonating for me off of the 3 of Pentacles card. So I had said that kind of clearing this toxicity, whether it's by actually ending a relationship or setting healthy boundaries, like however it resonates for your situation, kind of creates space for these healthy relationships to come in, right? Whether that's your physical family or your spiritual family. I feel like you're going to have some time to be patient. I really am feeling someone like going away on a trip or something. That's such an interesting energy, but it may take a little bit of time, right? Maybe this guy's ego is going to be wounded because they'll be like, and I say guy, it could be anybody, right? This person's ego could be wounded that you kind of had the audacity to like buck the family system, honestly. So like the words that are coming to me, it's going to feel like mom's in the corner clutching her pearls and dad is like grinding his teeth as he's falling asleep because they're both like so mad or whatever. And that's just like a silly example, but that's the image that came to me. So take it or leave it. But it feels like after time, there's going to be like a sweetness, a reunion that could happen here. I find this card really encouraging because there is a sweetness here that is not present in this individual. And I just wonder if maybe some part of them will kind of soften towards you. I really am feeling an energy like this could be apparent for most of you. Kind of reconciling, offering a gift, offering an apology, right? There's an offering here, and it's very sweet and innocent offering. I love that. So I'm definitely not suggesting, let's see, sorry, I'm looking for what card to take. I'm definitely not suggesting to sit around and wait for someone or anything like that, right? You live your life, and you live your life in the most joyful, wonderful way that you want to spend your time. But I do feel like there's a possibility of reconciliation here. It's really lovely. And actually it was flashing on this card, like it could be that this King of Pentacles put aside his or her dreams from childhood in order to sort of create this family empire, right? So this would be the guy whose parents said, don't be a fool, you're not going to Europe, you're going to law school. And then he like built this family empire from his law career. And I feel like there might be a part of him that is like almost envious of your ability to be a free spirit, and that it's triggering some of that, some of those childhood dreams and desires for them, because now they've lived their life, right? Their life has played out the way that they set it up to play out. And it's almost like they robbed themselves of the ability to live their dreams in order for like you to have your dreams. And there's almost like a feeling of resentment there. But I feel like these cards show that with a little bit of time and maybe even with a little bit of space, right? And that's okay. Like sometimes people need some space to heal, and that's all right. That there's like a really sweet reconciliation that's possible, right? I can't predict what a person will do. I can only read the energy of the cards, and that energy is definitely in the cards. It could be that you get home from your trip to Europe and this King of Pentacles figure is like the first person to invite you over and like ask you all about your trip, right? Kind of as a way of almost like apologizing, right? Trying to show that they care about your path and are invested in the things that you're like passionate about. It's very sweet. It's very sweet. All right. God, do you have anything else that you would like to say to my viewers for this 1010 portal? That's interesting. I didn't really expect to pull an energy like that, but somebody needed to hear that. So hopefully it was helpful to at least one person. That would make my day. It's a really powerful energy and definitely a big change. I feel like this Emperor card, that moment of you sort of like grabbing control of your own life and your own destiny, you no longer being pushed around like a little kid, but being like, you know, the powerful divine being that you are, right? Whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. It's like being actualized in a way and like coming into yourself in a really powerful way. I love that. Anything else that you want to say to my viewers, God? It says, what do you need to release, Waning Moon? Yeah, I feel like that's an important question because this is going to be different for everyone. The way that this situation kind of is manifested in your life. That's kind of the bummer about doing general readings, is that I can't get feedback from you guys or get like more specific about what it is. But like I said, I do feel like it's probably a parent figure for a lot of you. But what do you need to release, right? Like I said, it doesn't have to be bringing this relationship to an end. Although for some of you, it might be so toxic that that's like the only thing that resonates right now, right? And that's okay. I definitely feel a feeling of like space being taken, and that space is very healing. It could be that you're releasing the need to people please. That's definitely something that I feel here, almost like an anxiety or panic about doing anything that would like upset this King of Pentacles and sort of trigger that reaction of like judgment and the manipulation and the control. It's like you'll people please and do anything to keep that reaction like from happening, right? And that's like a really bad feeling, right? I feel like you're kind of ready to just be authentic and be authentically yourself. And it feels really good. That Emperor, man, that's like such a powerful turning point for you. I feel like that's really the crux of the 1010 portal for you. So 10 is like a really grounded, solid number. So 2 10s is like extra grounded and solid. It feels to me like you pulling all of your divine power finally into your physical body, your physical life, and like grounding it down to the earth. Like with finality, like this is the time and it's happening. And once you've done that, once you've called in that power and really just owned like your divinity and your strength, that's it. It's done. You don't unown that. Like that's yours forever. And I feel that with the Emperor, like you're not letting that go. Being in your power feels good, right? Being your true self feels good. It feels authentic. And that's amazing. It's a good feeling. We have Skunk. Effectiveness, passivity, prudence. You're being asked to manifest consciously through positive thinking so you'll attract into your life exactly what you want. And then we have Energetic Monkey. Innovation, confidence, amusement. Cherish those who will bring laughter and joy to your soul. That's very sweet. I feel like this conscious manifestation card is really bouncing off of the King of Swords to me, and this 3 of Pentacles. Like really consciously, it's like not only do you need to figure out what you want to release, you also need to get clear on what do you want to bring in, right? What do you want your life to look like? I don't know if you've ever even asked yourself that because you've been so busy either avoiding or people pleasing because of this King of Pentacles. Like sit down and get clear. Like if your life could look any way, if you could do anything, what would it be? What would it look like, right? Because you can't, I shouldn't say you can't. I feel like if you wander through this portal aimlessly, it's almost like the energy kind of can't pick you up because you're just sort of like wandering around. If you move into this portal with focus, the energy knows exactly where you are and then it can help catapult you forward. And I feel like that's sort of the more powerful way to like harness this energy. So yes, getting clear on what is that vision for yourself? What is your purpose for being alive, right? What brings you joy? What relationships do you value? What do you value doing with your time? And getting really clear with the universe on that. I would be writing it down if I were you. And then the Monkey, cherish those who bring laughter and joy to your soul. I feel like that's a lot of this energy. I feel like the 3 of Pentacles in particular is like calling in those who would bring laughter and joy to your soul, right? So your family, again, whether that's like your biological family or your spiritual family, making sure that you have good family around you who support you and love you. I feel like the Page of Wands, the King of Swords, and the 3 of Wands, that feeling of freedom and like infinite expansion and openness, that feels very joyful to me. And I think if you're in this collective, it will feel that way to you too, right? Getting clear on that. And then it's feeling like this really, really sweet 6 of Cups card, right? That you deserve that gentleness and that like sweet love and the purity of this energy just really being cherished, being recognized and seen and cherished. I feel that word so strongly. The little one in this card is being cherished with this like sweet gift, right? Like you deserve that. And like I said, I feel like there is a chance for this family energy to potentially heal. And again, for some of you, maybe it won't, right? Maybe you take that space and time and the sweetness is like this soul family that's coming in rather than like the biological family. This is like a really sweet reading, you guys. I feel so happy for whoever's in this collective for like the incredible, basically like power up you're going to receive once you get in this Emperor energy and just claim the heck out of your life, right? I just see someone like pounding their fist a little bit and being like, this is my life and this is my decision and this is what I'm doing. The end. There's like not up for discussion. And I also feel like you're like a grown-ass person who gets to make that decision, right? Like it's been far too long somebody else kind of judging or manipulating the life choices that you're making. Yeah, that feels really complete. I'm excited for your adventure. It will be fun to hear about. Hopefully this was helpful. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe, leave me a comment if you wish, as all of those things help me as I'm growing my channel. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.